Alright guys, what is going on? Match reaction. Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 0, and what a result for Aston Villa. A huge win for Villa. Absolutely massive. You know, 2 Premier League games. They've beaten Spurs away from home last weekend, and now they've backed it up by beating Man City at Villa Park. I thought Villa were very, very good today. I thought Villa were very, very good. I think the standouts for me, for Villa, were the two midfielders, Kamara and Onana. Obviously, Onana did get man of the match, thoroughly deserved, but I think the midfield too for Villa just absolutely bossed it today. They dominated the Man City midfield. And listen, I know Man City had more possession and more shots, but that midfield for Villa today won them the game, 100%. The way they were, the way them two helped out defensively, brilliant, absolutely brilliant by them two today. But I think to a man, Villa were very good. Man City just didn't really get going in this game. And, already you're thinking for Man City, is the title over? Because Arsenal have won. Arsenal have beaten Crystal Palace today. And I think Arsenal now are 6 points clear of Manchester City. They're 7 points clear of Liverpool. What a weekend it's been for Arsenal. What a weekend. Liverpool lose, Man City lose, Arsenal win. Couldn't be a better weekend for Arsenal. But we're not here to talk about Arsenal. We're here to talk about Aston Villa and Manchester City. And yeah, touching on Man City again. I think Man City were poor today. I think they were really, really poor. Lacklustre is how I would describe that Man City performance. They created a couple of chances, but apart from that, I think Villa found it very comfortable and very easy today, to be honest. And City just could not click into gear today. And that's credit to Aston Villa. Aston Villa, I think, started off a little bit shaky. Man City were all over them in that opening 10-15 minutes. But when Aston Villa got that goal, which we'll talk about a bit more in a minute, when Aston Villa got that goal, it just gave confidence. And, it was then on Manchester City to try and break Villa down. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it. And, Erling Haaland's goal-scoring streak finally has come to an end. And it's against Aston Villa. Man City's record at Villa Park isn't very good in recent years. It isn't very good. And this is another one to try and forget if you're a Man City player and fan. But yeah, I mean, it just seems so easy for Villa. I don't know. Even towards the end of the game, Villa weren't holding on. City weren't relentlessly attacking them towards the end of the game. And, that is something that Manchester City, we have seen over the past few years, do whenever they're losing or drawing a game. It is relentless pressure, towards the end of the game. And today, we just did not see any of that today. Villa, very comfortable, in my opinion. And it's a big, big win for Aston Villa. Huge win last week away to Spurs. Obviously they went 1-0 down to Spurs last week and they managed to turn it around. And then today, they backed it up with a solid performance, a solid defensive performance against Manchester City. But yeah, let's talk about the goal. Matty Cash in the 19th minute for Aston Villa. An unlikely source for Aston Villa. I mean, to be honest, it is Matty Cash's second Premier League goal of the season, so maybe it's not that unlikely. But yeah, it's a corner to Villa. And I think they played it short. And I'm not sure who plays it, but it gets played to the edge of the box to Matty Cash. No one's on him. And it's lovely composure by Matty Cash because he could have easily hit it first time, but he doesn't. He takes a touch. I think he takes a touch on Bernardo Silva. And it's a lovely finish. Sweeps it in past Donnarumma. Donnarumma is flat-footed, doesn't even move. It's just placed to perfection by Matty Cash. And, I feel like that goal kind of came against the run of play. Like I said, City were really good in that opening 10-15 minutes. And that goal kind of came out of nowhere for Villa. I think it probably shocked Man City that they scored. But, you know, yeah, Aston Villa go 1-0 up. Man City had a big chance to equalise through Haaland. Literally about, I think it was like 5-10 minutes after Villa scored. Bernardo Silva plays Haaland in. And, you know, with the form Erling Haaland, you know, is on, you expect the net to bulge, but it doesn't. Poor finish by Haaland, comfortable save from Martinez, hits it straight at him. And, you know, on his favoured left foot as well. It's a poor miss from Haaland. You expect him to score, and he doesn't. Really good save by Martinez, but in fact, I don't think it is a good save. I think it's a poor finish rather than a good save, to be honest. And then, you know, second half happens. Not really much happened in the second half. I think Villa probably had the better chances in the second half. Man City did score late on, but it was ruled out for offside, and it was the correct decision. But yeah, City didn't really create any clear-cut opportunities apart from that Haaland one in the first half, and that is cause for concern for Pep Guardiola because, you know, they could be out of the title race now, Man City. I mean, I think if Arsenal don't win the title from here, it is a bottle and it is embarrassing. But there's still so many games to go. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Man City are level on points with Manchester United. You know what I mean? So it's one of them. But yeah, Man City today were just not at it. But that's credit to Villa. Huge win for Unai Emery. You know, I'm not sure who Villa or Man City play next, but with the form Villa are on at the minute, I mean, they did lose midweek to go ahead Eagles in the Europa League, but they've, you know, erased that defeat and got the win today. And yeah, Man City lose. Arsenal, they're going to be hard to beat Arsenal. They're going to be hard to stop. They just don't concede goals, Arsenal, and if you don't concede goals, you're going to win games, you know, and there's another clean sheet they kept against Palace. So yeah, Arsenal, the team to beat. Man City dropped points today against Villa, and the title race could be over for Manchester City. But guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the match. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you later.